my dear country. The way things are going in this country, if we keeping quiet, the so-called leaders who assume that they have all the power, who assume they are all in all, we're going to destroy this country. I'm talking in respect to River State emergency rule. Over these 6 months, I decided to keep quiet. I decided not to say anything and just watching what is happening. Of course, you may ask, is emergency rule constitutional? The president has the power to declare a state of emergency. However, there must be a serious issue that is happening that is constituting security challenges in the state. And when we look at the case of River State, what was happening was simply human motivated, human cooked up to just get their own way. And the president took advantage of that, declared state of emergency. That was his constitutional power. However, in declaring state of emergency, the president does not have the power to, as a result of declaration of state of emergency, suspend a democratically elected government, because he also was democratically elected. So a democratically elected president does not have the power to unilaterally suspend a democratically elected government. But he went ahead and did it. Of course, it has happened before. Our own Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar, as his vice president, then went ahead and declared a state of emergency in Plateau State and removed Joshua Darie, suspended Joshua Darie, the Plateau State elected governor. Then that case also in Ekiti, over when ex-governor Fayose was still the governor of Ekiti State, and now River State. But why am I talking at this junction? Having watched everything happening, and then we can say clearly that the state of emergency declared in River State is basically to take over the political structure of River State and hand it over to an individual who assumes he has the power to deliver the political structure to the ruling party APC. River State has always been a PDP state. But when a state of emergency was declared and a military administrator was imposed on the state, of course, they took over the structure. And out of how many local government chairmen, we knew how many APC grabbed. And then only 3 went to PDP, the traditional owner that has been in charge of the political structure of the state. Of course, it was close to the 6 months. And shortly after that, the state of emergency was lifted and the governor returned. But the question we ask is, as the governor is returning, who now has this political structure of River State? Of course, your guess is as good as mine. APC, the ruling party, through former governor Nyesom Wike, who has been hell-bent in delivering River State to APC in 2027. This is not good for our democracy. And I think we need to start speaking out. This is not good for our democracy. These are part of what we are against in this our movement called Rescue Movement for New Nigeria. These are part of what we are against. These are part of what we are standing against. And these are the reasons we are here, and we have always spoken out, even from after the presidential election in 2023, even when other presidential candidates stepped aside and forgot about the situation of the country. But we in Rescue Movement, through the leader of this group, His Excellency Fadulu Oluwadare Joseph, or popularly called Fadujo, we've never been quiet. We've been speaking and will continue to speak truth to power. I will continue to speak for the country. I will continue to speak against impunity. What happened in River State is impunity. What happened in River State is completely undemocratic. What happened in River State should not happen in a saner climate. What happened in River State should not happen if Nigeria is a normal society. If Nigeria is a normal state, what happened in Rivers State shouldn't have happened. How can a state structure that had been traditionally for a party and another party want to take over, and the only way you need to take over is by backdoor taking over through declaration of a state of emergency? And let me say this sincerely yours, that I have decided to speak out now for the fact that what happened in Rivers State was not just a declaration of state of emergency. It was not just an issue of trying to resolve conflict, but it was an issue of a total takeover of the state by the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, the APC. And this is becoming like as if the APC want to turn Nigeria to a single political party, a single party state. And we need to start speaking up. I am yours sincerely, Reverend Emmanuel Olorunmagba, the Director, Media and Publicity for Rescue Movement for New Nigeria, aka Rescue the Vulnerable Initiative, and also the National Financial Secretary of National Rescue Movement, NRM. We will continue to speak, we will continue to reach out, we will continue to speak out when we see what is not working well. I conclude by saying, when you say something, say something. Thank you, fellow Nigerians. I remain yours sincerely once again, Reverend Emmanuel